Hey, what's up everybody? My name's Kill. I'm making a video showing you guys what I think is the most efficient way to grind the sheer amount of XP that is needed to reach level 50 in the current state of the game. The reason I'm doing so is because ever since I hit 50 a few weeks ago, my inbox is constantly being filled with people asking tips and best strategies, which I totally don't mind. But it kind of let me know that there is a portion of the player base, at least, that cares about this topic and would like to know the best strategy. I've tested many different routes at all three level 3 places. This route that I'm going to show you is absolutely hands down the best amount of XP per hour that you can get in the game currently. But before any of that, here's a completely unnecessary intro that I spent way too much time making. Okay, with that out of the way, I'm actually going to start from Delta 1 because I need some time to show you guys something off the rip. I want to be considerate of your guys' time, and I'm going to try to make this video as efficient as I possibly can. What I'm showing you right now is an overlay of the exact route that I suggest you take through Narith, from Delta 1, obviously clearing to Barracks, and then exfilling from Delta 2. The reason that the actual route or path is important is because we don't want to focus just on the number of kills. I know that sounds odd, but here's the reason. You also have to consider time. The AI have a respawn timer, obviously. We all know this. When we're looking at efficiency and XP per hour, we're not looking at just how many kills can I get in one go, because you can get a lot of kills really fast, but then regardless, you're going to be sitting and waiting around for a certain amount of time anyway. The reason this route is really, really good is because it actually allows you, if you follow the path that I'm suggesting, at least something similar to it, it allows you to clear all the way to Barracks, exfil from Delta 2, and if you don't need to RTB, you can actually go straight back to Delta 1 and start it over again. And when you're getting about 800 to 1000 XP per run, and you're able to run that consistently back to back, that adds up really fast. Also, guys, I know that my mic quality is not the best. I do apologize for that. I'm simply making this video for those of you who care to push max level and maybe just get that max level apparel before a wipe or a content update, or if they introduce some rewards later on for having reached max level in the current state of the game. This video is for you. For those of you who don't care or think it's weird to try to push for max level, this video is not for you. You can just move on. I love playing the top of these hangars. The reason is because it obviously gives you a great vantage point to get a lot of kills, and they can be in different places on different runs. But obviously, just like you're seeing here, it gives you an easy way to re-engage, break line of sight. You're obviously able to see different groups of AI at different times, and you can see them pretty far off. But as much as these hangars are really good, sometimes bogus shots still happen. Not really sure what got me there. Another good thing I want to point out, as you're seeing now, is that this particular route does allow many opportunity. Most of the time, the places you're going to die, an opportunity to get back to your body in a pretty safe manner. Most of the time, I did not need to bring an extra weapon or a secondary weapon to get back to my gear. Now, obviously, there's going to be times where you will need to do that, of course, but this route does offer a lot of opportunity for that to not be the case. Here, you're going to see me check this back hallway in this hangar. The reason I do that is because there is a guy that will stand at the back of that hallway sometimes, but if you try to shoot him from the outside of the hangar, there's actually an invisible wall, an occlusion, where those boxes are or something, and you can't shoot through it. Same thing with this back entrance to this hangar. There's usually a guy that stands at the entrance of this. You can shoot him from the outside, But if you were to try to run through the very middle of this door, or if the guy that I'm about to shoot around this corner ever got aggroed or pulled to that hallway as you shot the other guy, you won't be able to shoot him because he'll be standing behind that invisible occlusion that's there. Another little tip, you're able to climb those steep edges with a little jump at the right way. So now I'm looking at two places in particular. I'm looking at the gate that's at the bottom of the ramp leading to HQ, and as I cross the street, I'm looking at the double doors on our side of HQ behind that fence. If you kill these guys pretty quietly with a headshot and the right distance away, you can kill both of them without pulling anybody from HQ. So I'm always checking to see if they're there. In this case, they're not. So, but there is a guy right here. Now you'll notice it took 2 shots and I didn't ruffle any feathers around me. One major tip that I do want to say, guys, if you avoid touching any bushes as you walk right in between them, like I'm doing right here, you're able to actually bypass everybody in front without aggroing them and go straight to the doors. Probably one of the best tips to getting into HQ, especially when you're going to be doing it as much as you are for the grind to 50. Now, when it comes to clearing HQ, everybody's going to have their own way. I know that everybody's probably got a way they're used to, and that's totally fine. Totally fine. I'm just going to explain. This isn't even my way. This is just the most efficient way to try not to get caught off guard that I have found in the, I don't know how many times I've run this place. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. I'm going to be playing this room over that I was just in as a safe room. I'm going to keep re-peeking this hallway, obviously. Real quick, what I'm using here is an HPR or HRP stem. It heals your organs over time. It's great for combat situations like this because it allows you to stack heals. The only downside is it does intoxicate you a little bit, not too much if you only use one, but it does give you a little bit of extra pain if you're already in pain, or sometimes just even if you're not in pain. So I prioritize my pain meds over the bandage just so I can hear what's going on around me. So seeing that there's nobody else that's come down when I check that hall, I always move to this window and check the way I came in, and then I check this window for anybody out front. Audio cues kind of tell me if there's somebody that is in the way that I came in. So at this point, I've noticed that nobody else is coming down, but you see how, this is what I was talking about before. When you play just this side of HQ, do you see how when you approach the stairs, it actually pulls a different group down? So once you break the threshold of this door and actually get closer to the stairs that lead up to the next floors, more actually start to pull out. So I don't recommend just going straight to stairs and pushing up. Now, you're totally welcome to do that if you want, but what we're talking about in this video is efficiency and the best way to ensure your life while clearing this. Now see, I'm testing it right now. The closer I get, I'm trying to see if anybody's going to come down. And as I approach, I hear nobody else coming down, so I go ahead and decide to go up. When you make it to second floor, again, a lot of this, some of you guys are going to know. I'm just saying this for the guys that have maybe newer players that are trying to see what it takes to get 50, okay? I'm not trying to tell anybody stuff they already know. Second floor, you definitely want to check conference room, which are the 2 wooden doors in front of me, and then the ones to the left. Third floor, I always go up this side and I look right above me because that's where I've had most of the time getting insta-killed, is a guy standing right above that railing. Here's a freebie on a safe location. Now also you're going to see me look out this window, and the reason I look out that window in that office is because sometimes a guy actually will spawn on that mid-roof and he will shoot you through that window. We always want to clear roof. You're going to see me do a jump here. The reason I do this jump is because at the, I guess it would be the northwest corner of the roof there is sometimes an AI over in that corner, and I can see his head if I jump. When I open this door, I always swing left like that because they will rush the door in some cases. That guy, that was an odd case. I've never seen him sitting behind the file cabinet there. Always be wary of the front doors here. You're going to hear them start shooting at me. They will hit those shots. So now we're going to clear the northwest side. They can be on either side, and sometimes they can be on both. So you want to be very careful about this peak. Sometimes there's a guy stuck behind that glass door, and you really can't shoot through that glass door. So I'll shoot the glass and then like retreat or go into the room adjacent from it, you know, that cafeteria type room, and he'll open the door and you'll hear it, and then that gives you an opportunity to kill him. Now you see that I'm kind of looking around because I hear somebody, but I'm not sure exactly where they're at. Now I check this window because sometimes if you don't clear the air traffic control tower, they will run up to that fence and you're able to see or get a few kills from people running up to that fence. That guy was just kind of in a weird spot. So is this next guy. I'm just looking for ammo. But I see his little helmet sticking up at the window. Easy kill. Definitely always want to be checking windows, for sure. I'm just grabbing a CQ body because I know that I'm going to need to build a couple more. And if you guys are interested in the gun that I'm using and the builds that I use in different scenarios, let me know in the comments. I'd be totally down to make a video explaining my favorite guns and why I use them. Definitely going to check. Front door again. I would be very careful standing where I'm standing. A lot of times this would be a death sentence. I'm seeing if anybody else is going to shoot at me. So, okay, so at this point, I'm going to start looting. And this gives us a great opportunity to actually look at some of the numbers behind the leveling process. And there's a little bit of a unique factor here that Grayzone Warfare does that's a little bit different than other leveling systems in other games. So let's break this down. On the left column, you have the actual level. The middle column here is the cumulative number of XP needed for each level. And the third column is actually what is needed between each level. So let me explain that a little bit better. The middle column, you see how these numbers keep rising. Don't let this scare you. This does not mean that you actually need this much per level, as your XP in Grayzone Warfare does not reset when you reach a new level. It just continues to compound and add on top of itself. Compound is a little bit of a stretch, but you kind of get what I'm saying. If you put your cursor while you're in game over your XP bar, it'll actually show you how much XP you're currently at. And the right column will actually tell us how much we need per level. So if, for example, level 43 to 44, we need 13,225 XP to get from 43 to 44. And then so on and so forth throughout the other levels. It does gradually get bigger and bigger as you get higher in the levels. You can see that 49 to 50 is close to 15,000 XP just for that level. Now, I know I don't have all the numbers filled in. The task generally gets you to between 36 and 38, depending on how much other stuff you did besides tasks. But I do have some friends that are helping me fill in those numbers as they approach those levels. I'll have those numbers in the description, so as we get those numbers, I will make sure that that stays updated so you guys, if you want to, are able to keep track in a numeric fashion. My buddy Nerd did send me this as a visual representation of what one clear through Narith from Delta 1 to Barracks actually looks like on your XP bar. So this gives you a better visual representation of what it looks like to clear this one time, at least at level 40. Now, obviously, as you progress through the levels, that change is going to be a little bit less, but it's not going to be too significantly less until you get to about 48. And that way you can kind of visually see that this run is a significant bump to your XP number. And that kind of gives you a better grasp of the leveling experience using this method if you wanted to test other methods, or maybe you just prefer to run something else versus Narith. Maybe you're not a fan of Narith, which I totally understand. I have a buddy that did reach level 50 running Tiger Bay, but we do know that it is a slower XP grind as far as efficiency goes, but he just preferred Tiger Bay and the mall over, let's say, this Narith run. This is a good time to get back to the tactics of this run. And some people at this point would argue this really isn't an option for me because I strictly use the Pilot Hollow, that you could stay on the roof of HQ and get a majority of Nareth kills by pulling them in with sniper shots, unsuppressed sniper shots. And I'm not going to say that's not an option, and you're more than welcome to do that. But the focus that we're trying to keep in mind here is efficiency. And the downside of sniping from the HQ rooftop is that you're not keeping the respawn timer consistent across all of the AI throughout Nareth. The benefit of following the path that I'm taking now and not staying on the HQ roof too far is that you always have leverage points and cover, like I'm using this truck. And then you also are keeping the respawn timers very consistent and linear so that your XP and the AI are respawning in a very, very, very consistent manner. I'm trying not to repeat myself, but I'm trying to explain it the best way that I can. So I hope you understand that the benefit here, I think, it far outweighs the ease of sniping from the HQ roof. Going forward, if you guys see me aiming at an area where there happens to not be an AI, that is because there usually could be an AI there, and there's general places that they're going to be. They are going to be different a little bit every time, and they do spawn and patrol to the area that they're supposed to be in. So it's going to be a little bit of a fluctuation between all your runs, and you'll kind of learn where they're generally going to be. Sometimes they'll be in odd places, so you always, of course, always got to be alert. But for example, behind this building right here, there's sometimes somebody sitting in between the building and the wall. And then this guy kind of came up out of nowhere, not sure where he came from or where he was supposed to be. And then right here, I'm actually going to pause it because this is a perfect example of what this run was not able to show. You see that I'm about to kill this guy that's right here, right? Well, generally there's a couple guys in this little parking lot area. However, some of your shots are going to go through them, or you're going to miss some of their shots, and you're going to shoot into that grassy area behind the fence, which actually will pull some of the people from the north gate and some of the patrol that are near there. So you actually definitely want to be very careful about where your shots are going and where they're leading to. So after I killed this guy, I went ahead and jumped ahead the video a little bit because I ended up kind of looking through the bushes a little too much, and it threw off the pacing of the video. And again, I'm trying to be considerate of your guys' time. So once you cross that parking lot and come to the corner of this building, you're definitely going to have some people out front. I always check right here. There's usually a couple people right here. This truck that I'm approaching is a great source of cover from these guys that are on the road and potentially in this grass area over here. Just keep in mind of what I use for cover and where I'm looking, because where I'm looking or checking are areas that are pretty common to have an AI either patrolling or be stationed. Now you can actually go on either side of this building. It really depends on the AI and the situation and what's going on. You'll kind of learn to judge whether you should go to the back like I'm doing here or to the front. I decided to go to the back to show you guys how to approach this back area, because this can get a little bit hairy depending on what's around the corner. As I go along this building, I'm always checking these bushes, because there's usually one or two patrols that are in the bushes and they can give you some trouble, especially if they are using AKs. Now you'll see that I'll use this medical tent and the truck in the right beside the medical tent as cover from different directions. Now, none of this is supposed to guarantee you an easy run. That's not what this is about. This is about just the best way to handle the AI from different directions and just to best ensure your life. As far as timing goes and efficiency, I still stand by the route that I'm taking and the exact leverage points that I'm using. for cover and for peeking as getting through from Delta 1 all the way to Barracks here. Now, I shoot at the gate here in a minute. I wouldn't recommend that you always do that because you will have another chance. This is the gate that we're going to leave when we go to Delta 2 for an exfil. If you're confident that you can get the kills with your shots, then you feel free to go for it, but it's not necessary that you take those shots. I just felt like that was, I needed to say that. Now I started to heal, but you see I saw a guy come out of the barracks or behind the barracks kind of facing me. So I abandoned that heal, and now I'm using this tent as cover. And yes, they can shoot through the tent, but generally they tend to not. It's kind of hit or miss, but most of the time, we're speaking in generalities and probabilities. Most of the time they don't. They will try to either get a different angle or approach you, which works in our favor. And I think it goes without saying that audio cues are essentially crucial for knowing, kind of having a situational awareness about you, of knowing where they are and the nearest one. Like this guy, he almost caught me off guard because I knew that there was somebody here. So definitely always need to be vigilant. At this point, I've killed enough AI that I feel like it's pretty clear to, I always go to the back of these barracks. I believe these are the A barracks or the C barracks. What are they? The A barracks. I always go through this back door. Never go through the front. There's too many, and you'll see in a second why. I always take a shot here into the roof in case there is somebody on the second floor to try to pull them down. I'll be able to hear them coming down, but in this case, there's not. How I peek this door is essential because there are a lot of guys here in the middle of the barracks and this C building across the way. You also should be careful in between north and northeast, I guess north by northeast, that grassy area that's right out these doors. There can be a patrol there. There can also be somebody in that watchtower, and they will hit these shots. At this point, I would recommend that you retreat back into the barracks to double check your flank and make sure that there was nobody upstairs, because sometimes they will be upstairs in a room and will not leave until you get closer. I messed up here and didn't see that person ahead of me. But this is a great example. If we were to stop and look, you can actually see that there's two people right there in the bushes, and one is behind this sewer mechanism, whatever that's supposed to be. This is a perfect example of why you always need to be vigilant when approaching any area, obviously, that has shrubbery, bushes, trees, shadows, even. And this is still not an argument that you shouldn't go in front of this building. This is a rare occurrence. Usually they are where they're supposed to be by the hole in the wall. But this is just a perfect example of always, always remaining vigilant. I'm actually kind of glad this happened because this gives me an opportunity to highlight one of the major benefits of this route. As you see, I'm going to fly into Delta 2. I am going to bring a gun because I'm not sure exactly what they're going to be doing, if they're going to be standing in those bushes overlooking my body. But this shows you that you a lot of times can get back to your body very, very safely. And what I was meaning before by this isn't an argument to go in front of this building. Some would say you can go behind, and true, you could go behind, but because of all the shots we did earlier that were shooting in the direction of shooting range, I highly advise that you always, always go in front of this barracks building. This would be the C barracks building. Always go in front because we don't know exactly what we did to disturb shooting range guys and the people that watch that hole in the wall near shooting range. And the reason I avoid that area is a pretty basic reason. I do not want to fight people in bushes if I have the choice. This run, as it is, gives you enough XP to justify not having to have the extra stress of dealing with those guys from shooting range. So always come in front here. I always check hole in the wall. I always check the guy that spawns by water tank. and then I clear the bottom floor of this building. Obviously, we can't get to the top floor. A lot of times I will grenade that hole in the wall that's right next to us there, but because I know that we pulled those guys and killed those guys already, I don't do it this time. A lot of times we won't disturb the guy in the watchtower, so always check that watchtower, and I have seen 2 in that watchtower before, so always be vigilant of that. Now remember, we killed a couple guys here before, but we didn't kill everybody. And then watch this. Exactly what I'm talking about. Even after running this hundreds of times, there's still people that I miss and bushes that I miss. Like, I've never seen a guy necessarily where that guy that just shot me came from. I've never seen a person there. Usually they're either in the tower or they're behind the C building. So there's always fluctuations. There's always something different, which actually keeps it kind of fresh in my opinion. Always check these ditches. I've seen them in these ditches and they can get the jump on you. So you see me double checking these ditches and making sure that there's nobody there. Also, sometimes some people can be along the wall towards the other entrance. If you cause enough commotion over there, they will be on the outside of the wall to our right. So always double check that. And there you guys have it. The most efficient way to grind XP to get you to level 50 in the game. I saved this part for last because maybe not everybody wants to know exactly what the rewards are, but if you are curious, I am going to go through the rewards from level 40 all the way to level 50. First up, we have 2 pieces at level 40. We are looking at the function shirt, and at 43, you are getting the rappel seat pants. Next, at 45 through 47, you're getting a set Cry Precision G3 multicam set. The name is appropriate because it did make me want to cry. And at 47 or 45, you get the Magnum Wildfire Tactical black boots. But don't worry, they did us better at 50. At 50, you're looking at a black long sleeve shirt, black version of the rappel seat pants, and solid black mechanics gloves, which by themselves look but with the armor, you are looking pretty badass, if I don't say so myself. I actually really enjoyed making this video for you guys. I have ideas for other videos, things that I would like to share, things that I've learned through my over 500 hours of playtime, things regarding weapon builds for different scenarios, different approaches to your level 3 places, some unique things about healing and healing yourself and preemptive healing. Anyways, I have ideas. If you guys enjoyed my style of content and you found it helpful, obviously maybe give it a thumbs up, maybe comment. If you'd like to see more content, just let me know. Like I said, this is just something I'm doing to try to help you guys out, try to share what I've learned through my time playing. And I actually had a lot of fun making this video and working with my friends on getting the information to you guys. So if there's a next time, I'll see you then. Peace.